How could three humble wooden ships, no bigger than a modern-day yacht, sailing into the vast, unknown expanse of the ocean, trigger a cascade of events so utterly profound it would fundamentally reshape our entire planet and the very course of human history? It sounds like the most epic fantasy, doesn't it? A myth whispered from ancient times. But what if I told you it's a true story? A pivotal moment born from an audacious gamble on a daring idea. Imagine, if you will, the world of the late 15th century. It wasn't a global village yet. It was a patchwork quilt of kingdoms, empires, and bustling trade routes, all connected by whispers of distant, legendary lands. For centuries, the most coveted treasures, the shimmering silks of China, the aromatic spices of India, the gleaming gold of African empires, flowed along ancient arteries, either through perilous overland journeys fraught with bandits and unforgiving deserts, or by long, arduous sea voyages that painstakingly hugged the coast of Africa. These were the established paths, the known routes to unimaginable riches. But what if there was another way, a shortcut, a secret passage across the great blue unknown? This audacious question sparked a man named Christopher Columbus. On a quiet morning, August 3, 1492, from the unassuming port of Palos de la Frontera in Spain, he embarked on a journey that would forever redefine the human story. His fleet was modest, almost laughably so. The flagship, the Santa María, no grand ocean liner, accompanied by two nimble caravel-class vessels, the Pinta and the Niña. Their mission was clear, yet audacious to the point of madness: to find a western sea route to Asia, to bypass those ancient circuitous paths and unlock the world's most valuable spices and goods. He didn't sail east towards the familiar sunrise, he sailed west, boldly into the setting sun, into the absolute void of the uncharted ocean. What Columbus stumbled upon was not the exotic shores of India or the bustling ports of China. No, what he unveiled was something far more transformative, something that would crack open the known world like an eggshell, what Europeans would soon call the New World, the Americas. This wasn't merely a geographical revelation, it was the explosive spark that ignited an entirely new era, a seismic shift in human perception. This moment marked the definitive beginning of the age of exploration, or, as some call it, the age of discovery. Suddenly, the known world's map exploded. It wasn't just a few islands or a new coastline. It was vast continents teeming with astonishing life, untold resources, and complex civilizations previously unimaginable to the European mind. This revelation didn't stay a secret for long. In its wake, it paved the way for something even bigger, something that would fundamentally alter the very demographic and political landscape of two hemispheres, the extensive European colonization of the Americas. But the ripple effect didn't stop at conquest and colonization. What followed was an unprecedented global phenomenon, a biological and cultural interchange so profound it earned its own name, the Columbian Exchange. Imagine it like the planet suddenly deciding to play a massive chaotic game of musical chairs with its living inhabitants, plants, animals, and even diseases. This wasn't just about gold and land. It was a sweeping two-way transfer of life itself, a planetary-scale experiment of epic proportions. From the Americas, humble plants like the potato, corn, and tomato made their way across the Atlantic, revolutionizing European and Asian diets, fueling population booms, and transforming agriculture. In return, wheat, horses, cattle, pigs, and a plethora of other European and African species traveled west, reshaping the ecosystems and lifestyles of the Americas. But here's where the story takes a darker turn. This exchange also carried a devastating invisible passenger: diseases. Old world pathogens like smallpox and measles, against which indigenous American populations had absolutely no immunity, swept across the continents like an unstoppable wildfire, causing a catastrophic decline in their numbers, wiping out entire societies. This profound demographic shift, alongside the massive rerouting of global trade and geopolitics, reshaped economies, societies, and power dynamics across the entire planet in ways that are still echoing today. Yet, for all its monumental, world-changing impact, the legacy of Columbus's voyage is far from a simple tale of triumph. History, much like the universe itself, is rarely black and white. It's a vibrant, often contradictory spectrum of light and shadow. While his journey undeniably linked continents and spurred an era of unprecedented global interaction, it also ushered in an age of immense suffering and exploitation. We cannot ignore the historical record. Columbus and his men engaged in horrific acts of violence and cruelty against the indigenous populations they encountered, including enslavement, forced labor, and systematic oppression. Accusations of mismanagement and brutality were so severe they even led to his arrest and return to Spain in chains. Furthermore, the very idea of Columbus discovering America is deeply controversial, and for good reason. Thriving, complex indigenous civilizations with their own rich histories, cultures, and scientific achievements had flourished there for thousands of years, long before any European ship touched its shores. For many, celebrating Columbus Day ignores the horrific consequences of his arrival. The introduction of deadly diseases that decimated populations, the initiation of the transatlantic slave trade, and the systematic dispossession and oppression of native peoples that continued for centuries. Indeed, historical scholarship now suggests that at least a dozen other groups, from Vikings to Polynesians, may have reached the Americas long before 1492, though none with the same global, transformative impact. So, what if those three tiny ships never left Palos? What if the oceans had truly been an impenetrable barrier, a final frontier uncrossed, or if another explorer had taken a different path centuries later? The world we inhabit today would be unimaginably different. The spices on our tables, the crops in our fields, the very genetic makeup of our populations, the languages we speak, the geopolitical map we draw, all bear the indelible marks of that singular, audacious journey. Columbus's voyage stands as a powerful, if profoundly complicated, reminder that history is not a static collection of facts, but a dynamic, ever-unfolding story of human ambition, astounding innovation, and often devastating unintended consequences. It teaches us that even the most daring expeditions can unleash forces beyond human comprehension, forever altering the very fabric of our shared reality. It's a testament to humanity's relentless, insatiable drive to explore, to connect, and to change, a drive that, for better or worse, continues to shape our future, right now, in this very moment.
Thanks for watching. Like, subscribe, and ring that bell for more history daily.